to Hannity. All right, remember back in 2007, 2008, I kept saying journalism in America is dead. And every week right here on this program, we uncover more and more examples of bias, anti-conservative, anti-Trump, destroy Trump news. That makes my point. Tonight, I want to expose two men who are largely responsible for peddling all of this political propaganda. This is an important, revealing mini monologue. All right, each and every day, CNN, MSNBC, they churn out that healthy dose of liberal spin conspiracy theories to their viewers. Who is behind the destroy Trump media strategy? Now, look no further than the fake news chiefs themselves. The president of CNN Worldwide, Jeff Zucker, the chairman of NBC News, MSNBC, Andy Lack. So what do we know about Zucker and Lack, besides that they'll never hire me and I never want to work for them? First, Jeff Zucker. Harvard-educated, longtime Manhattan, New York elitist. He rose up the ranks at the very liberal NBC before finally moving to CNN to become its president in 2013. And recently, Zucker was quoted in Variety as saying, "It's really the renaissance of journalism in America because of the nature of what is going on." Really? The renaissance of journalism? Okay. Let's pause for a minute to take a look at what the so-called renaissance of journalism looks like at the Clinton News Network. Let's take a look.
It's like we're just covering bad reality television is what it feels like now.
It's a grotesque abuse of power by the President of the United States. This is the kind of thing that goes on in non-democracies.
Apparently, the president gets 2 scoops. You know, everyone else around the table gets 1, and no word if there were sprinkles.
At the dessert course, he gets 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream with his chocolate cream pie instead of the single scoop for everyone else.
He gains weight, according to these sources. He doesn't trust people around him. He's withdrawing. Not a good picture.
He now lives within himself, which is a dangerous place for him to be.
If he wants to say that, Barack Obama wants to say whatever. If George Bush says, I looked in his eyes
and
and thought
he took a dump on his desk, you would defend it.
The only winner, the only people who've got to be happy tonight are sitting in the Kremlin. Now he's President Snowflake, okay? Everything he said, oh, they're mean to me and they don't like me and I just don't understand it and it's not fair. This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part.
Jeff Zucker, are you really proud? Are you really believing that that is a renaissance in journalism? Now, remember, according to the president, President Trump, he actually said, well, he helped get Zucker his job with CNN. Wow, I guess no good deed goes unpunished. All right, now let's take a look at the NBC News chairman, Andy Lack. Now, Lack, by the way, is a New York City native, a liberal, longtime so-called journalist. He started his career at CBS, ultimately becoming the president of NBC News in the early 90s. Now, Lack then bounced around with a few other corporations before returning to NBC News as its president in 2015. At the time, Variety reported, quote, Andrew Lack returns to NBC as news chief, will face challenges restoring credibility. So has Andy Lack succeeded in restoring credibility over at NBC News? We report, you decide, fair and balanced. Watch this.
Donald Trump, again, being a schmuck.
He looked like a thug. He looked like a goon. You look at the handshake. You look at this. Just what a thug. This is so unbalanced. This is so. He is not well. He's Vladimir Putin's hostage. Totally unprepared for the job of being president. Unfortunately, not knowing what he does not know.
And possibly unfit mentally. Sorry.
It would be like somebody pooping their pants and then people looking at it and saying, oh, that's modern art.
When the president asked the FBI director for loyalty, he's actually trying to change the character of the American government. Hitler in 1934 began to demand precisely loyalty.
He said today, America first. It was not just the racial, the Hitlerian background to it.
Here you have a deranged president or a pathologically lying president.
A lot of people who I think are critical of Donald Trump generally look at praise like that from somebody like Donald Duke and wonder if he is a gateway drug.
Really? A schmuck? You call the president of the United States a thug, a goon, daily unhinged emotional outbursts, daily. NBC News. And by the way, if you think that's bad, remember, NBC now has even been known to float bizarre tinfoil hat, black helicopter, Russia conspiracy theories night after night after night for months and months and months. Of course, their flagship program on cable, The Rachel Maddow Show. Watch the theories evolve daily.
Just last week, Reuters reported on 18 new, previously undisclosed contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian government officials.
U.S. investigators, including the FBI, are looking into a Russian citizen in conjunction with one of the incidents on the Trump campaign last year.
Maybe he's not as charitable as he says, or maybe he's not really under audit. Like, all of those little things might be true. Okay, that'd be interesting to know. I don't know that that would change the world that much. But what would change the world is if, you know, Russia was interfering in the election, and they weren't doing it on their own, and he was in on it, you know?
The FBI director being fired by the president to try to change or stop an FBI investigation into the president's campaign and his top staffers. That is a big freaking deal.
If it wasn't so sad, it's actually funny. So I asked, Andy, are you proud of that kind of reporting? Tom Brokaw, are you proud of that? My former colleague, Megyn Kelly, I think is a better journalist than that on her worst day. Are you proud, Megyn? Are you proud, Matt Lauer? Now, in case you're still wondering what party affiliation these two fake news chiefs belong to, look no further than their campaign contributions. All right, since 2000, Jeff Zucker's wife has donated a whopping couple of $1,000s to the DNC, and that pales in comparison to the very generous Andy Lack and the Lack family. Andrew, well, he's contributed over $50 grand to Democrats since 2002, including President Obama, Hillary Clinton,